taking a second to take it all in. um, but yeah, I'm gonna be vlogging today, and today I have a soursop, banana, and blueberry with ginger and date smoothie. Got it from Waka Dada. I can't remember I don't know how to say it, but I got it from them. And I've been thinking about just today actually how important prayer is and like the symbol of prayer. And it came to me that prayer with the hands like together, like right here at your heart most of the time. But I can't do both of them because I'm holding the camera. But like they're like right here at your heart, touching each other. It symbolizes Gemini, because Gemini is about communication. Again, like we have to remember that Gemini is about communication. And when you put your hands here at the heart, it's about a communication between your upper or your higher and your lower self. But you don't want to necessarily call it your higher and lower self, because again, we don't want to emphasize a separation of self, or we don't want to express or to indicate there's a separation of self, because there is no separation of self, and there should be no separation of self. So so when doing that, when praying, you're talking to your higher self, or it's a connection between those two energies. But it's not, again, I have to re-emphasize that, because I made a mistake and said it again, but it's a connection between the two, because your heart is what is the bridge between the upper and lower body. So that's why when you pray, you put your hands here, or you're supposed to put your hands here. I don't know if people put their hands here or here, but usually when I do it, I put my hands here. Like when I put my hands together, I don't necessarily pray, but I've been getting in the habit lately, kind of unconsciously, because I do like certain classes that calls us to, well, they tell us to put our hands together, and I usually put my hands here right at my heart. And it just made more sense to me that that's what that signified, and that's what that represented for me. And even if you don't put your hands at your heart, this still represents a connection between your, let's say your right and left brain, like the brains of the size of your brain, like the left and right hemisphere, or as I was saying, like the gut brain and your brain, like the left brain and the right brain. Remember, I was saying that in another video. But it represents the connection and like the energies coming together and them communicating. So that's what it meant for me today, and that's what I've been thinking about today. But I'm gonna continue vlogging, and I think I'm gonna be taking some pictures. Hopefully, the location that I wanted to go to is not wet, because it rained yesterday and it's an outside location. So we're gonna see if we can take some pictures there. If not, I'll vlog somewhere else and kind of improvise, and we'll just go from there. So I didn't get to shoot where I wanted to shoot at, but sometimes things don't go as planned. That's okay. We just have to improvise and do something new, experience something new. It's not always about like sticking to like the plan. Sometimes experience happens, and you just have to let it be what it is. But something I've been thinking about today was how interesting this Cancer energy is. I cannot get this straight. Keeps like going up and stuff. But anyway, how interesting this Cancer energy is. Like, it's revealing a lot, and it's like the beginning of the energy. It's the beginning of Cancer. Like, and all this energy is like unveiling itself, and it's like, it's so much. It's not a bad thing that it's so much. It's like it's surprising that it's this much in this short amount of time. Like, over the past few days, I've received a lot of revelations, and a lot of things have come to the light. And it's so interesting that Cancer is like it's represented by the moon, because a lot of the stuff was in darkness, but I guess it doesn't really mean that much, but I guess it'll probably mean something if I think about it a little bit more. But a lot of the stuff that I have seen, or a lot of stuff that's been exposed or brought to the light, has happened during the day. And like for one example of this is that I've been talking about how time isn't linear, and time is basically something that exists inside of us. So, we've had the um, protests and stuff like that, and how everybody's talking about the Black Lives Matter. And that's energy. Like, at the end of the day, that's energy. And something interesting about it is you have like people who have like certain phrases on their shirt and things like that. You have to understand that a big group of people wearing a specific color with certain thoughts or phrases on the shirt creates certain energies, and it brings about certain energies. And a lot of things that were in the darkness or are in the darkness is thoughts or events or situations or concepts that we are not aware of a lot of times. And I think a lot of the energy, a lot of the people gathered up together is not necessarily a good thing in that regard, because of the energy that they are putting, the thing that they put energy into. I understand that there are like some frustrations, and there are like some things that need to be understood and need to be overstood and understood. But I think we need to understand that there's a bigger game being played. There's a bigger thing that we need to realize and watch, that there is a color game going on. And the color game appeals to your mind and your body, like the darkness. The things that are in the dark, things that we are unaware of, basically we are giving too much energy to them on a personal level, but also on a collective level. Like, we all are like, we represent the collective consciousness. Again, I've said that there is no separation between all of us. Like, one thing that we share in common is the breath. Like, the air that I take in and exhale, you get a piece of that, like through some way or shape or form, like whether it be cleansed through a tree, or whether it's the fact that we're in the same room. Like, you get my energy, or you experience my energy by being around me, or by being or by being aware of, or in my presence, or even watching me. Like, you can get some of the energy that I'm giving off, and I'm focused on giving off positive energy. But at the same time, we need to be aware that a bunch of people meeting in you know specific places creates energy, and it's not good to not be conscious of that. And this also led me to the idea of, well, before I talk about that, I want to say the energy of us protesting is the same energy of us protesting in the, I want to say 60s, and in the 90s with 91, and then the early 2000s, and things like that. Like, well, I want to say in the 90s a couple of times, but it's the same energy. Like, the energy does not die. Like, you've seen, like, well, some people, I don't know if everybody has seen, like, there's like certain pictures and certain phrases that repeat. Like, those energies are still active, and with those energies being active and us remembering, we are remembering them. We are recreating those energies, because we are not aware of the fact that time itself is not something that exists outside of us. It's something that exists inside of us, and we control it. And time is being something, well, energy itself is being something that's manipulated against us, but us recreating things is something that's allowing this system to be what it is, and to work the way it does. But I wanted to talk about how 2020 vision is rare. And when I say that, I mean that your eyes see differently. And since your eyes see differently, you have to be aware of the fact that you are remembering things and you are remembering things. When you remember something, you are gathering light and you are gaining information from it. But when you're remembering things, you're gathering darkness, and those things can trigger certain emotions, and it can bring you down. It can make you feel negative. It can make you do things that are not necessarily good for you. But remembering is gathering energy, information, light, love. Like those are things that we need to like progress and move on, to expand, to ascend. And ascension again is not something that exists outside of us. It's not something that's foreign to us. It's local. Like it's inside of us. Like everything. I mean, the energy of ascension is inside of us, and we have to make sure that we're gathering that light up instead of like being stuck in the dark. Gather that light up and go to the light, and make sure that you use that light to go higher, to think higher, to be higher, to vibrate higher. Vibrating higher is the goal, and vibration is very important. That's what I've been thinking about with the Eye of Ra, and I think it's also the Eye of Re. And I also think I'm actually kind of sure if I'm mistaken, then I'm mistaken. But also the Eye of Horus. The Eye of Horus has to do with time, so I'm guessing that, in a sense, the Eye of Re and the Eye of Horus is similar. And then I'm not sure if the Eye of Haru, or if that's a thing, but yeah. But if it is, then it will probably appeal to the Eye of Ra. But that's neither here nor there. But I was saying that you see the world in two different ways. Like you can see it from your from a perspective of ascension, or you can see it from a perspective of descension, or going down. And it's very important to be like aware of which one you're appealing to. And it's not about separation. Like I think the darkness is important, but I don't think it's something that we should go through blindly. Like we should make sure that we have our light, and to go through it, and to make sure that we see things in the perspective that helps us the most, and that allows us to travel without getting stuck and getting trapped in certain spots. Because you want to rise, you don't want to be like stuck and not be moving. Like you got to be constantly evolving and constantly growing, and you have to make sure, you have to want to grow and to evolve and to expand. But your want to do so is what will help you gather light, and light will come to you. Like it comes to me every day. Like in every situation, like you can get inspiration from anything. You can get information from anything. Like I just got these idea. I just got the information about time repeating like the other day. But another thing reminded me of that, because I was thinking about how here in Atlanta, I don't know if this is everywhere, but here in Atlanta, we are forced to get on the bus, in the back of the bus. And I sat and I thought about that for a minute, how Rosa Parks was basically refusing to give up her seat to a white woman because she was sitting in the front of the bus. And you know, in those times, we had to move to the back of the bus because that's where we were supposed to be. Now we have people getting in the back of the bus because they could be, or they could possibly be sick, and they have to sit 6 feet apart. The only person that can get in the front of the bus are people who are, which is interesting. I'm not gonna say it's a bad or good thing. It's interesting that that handicapped people are on people who are either like in a wheelchair or who are elderly and can't necessarily use the back door, because I think the back door is a little bit higher in the bus. Even though it has hydraulics, it doesn't go down on that side on in the back, but it goes down in the front, and they're able to, like, you know, lower the ramp and stuff like that, so they can't get on in the back of the bus. So I was thinking about that, and it's interesting that energy is what it is. Like that energy repeated in a different way. Like, it's translated in a different way and it expresses itself in a different way, but it's essentially the same energy. Like, we have to get on the back of the bus now, and some people are enjoying that, and some people don't necessarily enjoy it. Well, I don't know. Let me say, I don't know if people don't necessarily enjoy it. I will say that it isn't a bad thing for people who are riding, because you don't have to pay anything. So you basically get on free, and you ride for free. So it's a good thing in that sense. If you have trouble paying, or you don't want to pay, then you can get on the back of the bus. I mean, you can get on the bus still, and you can still ride, but you have to pay at the train station. But yeah, it's just interesting how that energy just translated and it expressed itself in that way in these times. But it just goes to show that energy repeats itself. And how I got reminded of that today was the fact that, and this is what made me think about how people gathering together kind of creates good, and it can create good energy and it can create bad energy. But they were saying, or there was a sign that said, the riots of Stonewall started because people were fighting police, I think it's brutality is the word that they use, and which is the same thing that we're fighting now. It's like things don't change and things haven't changed, and we're still doing, or people are still doing the same thing. Why is that? Because the energy is still there. The energy is not being addressed. It's not being worked out. It's not being released. It's not being let go. We have to let go of these energies. We have to let go of these ways. Like, these energies that we're holding on to are not good for us as a people, as a society. And it's not about the blame game. It's not about blaming a person because of the color of their skin. It's not because, and it's not that this happens to people because of the color of their skin either. This happens because of, again, like I was saying before, the color game. Like, the color game is so complex, but it's such a simple game. It's not about black and white. It's about light and dark. Like, light means pure, and dark means, or black means death. And since black means death, the police, which is the color blue, and it represents the throat chakra, which is where, like, the spiritual world, like, is open up to us, like, and which is why people are, like, fighting for, like, freedom and speaking out and things like that. But that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, the police represent blue. Even though Black Lives Matter, and I will not deny that Black lives do matter, but it's not about the color of your skin. It's more so about the color, period. They're fighting color. Like, it's literally a color game. It's like, they don't see the color of your, well, they don't see the person. They see, like, what people are called or what people are considered. But we also have to consider the fact that what we call ourselves brings energy to us. Like, what we call ourselves and what we dress ourselves and what we clothe ourselves as is important, and it matters to it matters on a different level than just like, I like what I'm wearing today, or I like this particular color. It goes beyond that. Like, it's way deeper than that, and people have to realize that it's not about a black or white thing. Like, you can't be, it doesn't make sense to be mad or to fight people because of the color of their skin, or to even fight the police because of what they're doing, because they're not doing it because of something that they're necessarily conscious of. It's something that's spiritual, and it's beyond, like, flesh. It's beyond all that, because, and this is something as a society, like, we glorify light bodies, but that has nothing to do with the color of your skin either. It's about light, period. It's like it's about the colors. Like, it's about brightness. Like, we like brightness, or we like brightness, and we like colorful things, and colorful things are something that we naturally attract to. If you are, like, especially if you're, like, on the spiritual path, you like bright colors and colorful things, and you like specific colors. But it's great to blend and to incorporate all colors into your life, because it's all about balance. But we like bodies, and we find those appealing, and those things are something that we want to incorporate into our life, into ourselves on a, I want to say, unconscious or subconscious level. Like it's not something that a lot of people consciously do, but when they start consciously doing it, they see the bigger pictures. Pure light, white light, is something that gives us information, it gives us life. So we see white as a good thing because it's giving to us, even though we don't necessarily know it, which is why the so-called white in our society is praised more than black, because we are essentially going to the light or to the white, and again, it has nothing to do with color of skin. It's just like, it's something that we do that we don't realize, and it has something. You could look at it as the sun, because that's what I would attribute it to, because a lot of times the sun is like white, or appears white, even though it's not necessarily white. It's like a yellow color, but we all know that. But I was gonna say too that we are walking, living pyramids. And why I say that, I had to pause because I want to let that kind of soak in, because it's not necessarily like, and it is in a way, because I can go deeper on that. But we are walking, living pyramids, and we have like 3 sides to us, and the light of the sun shines through us. And since we are looking for, or we are going for that white light is something that shines through us, and that is represented by the chakras, and that information that is shined through us is expressed in those chakras, and it indicates where our energy is. And I was gonna say about the Trinity. Like in Christianity, we have the Trinity, and the Trinity is represented by the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. The Son, which is something that I've always kind of like knew, that the Son is not just S-O-N, it's also S-U-N. And it's like a play on words, and it's used to like confuse people, it's something that's like very like prominent and prevalent in the English language. Like, we have a lot of double entendre and words that are meant to sound one way, but they mean something different, or they represent the other meaning of the word. And that's something that is used to confuse us. But we represent the Trinity, because the sun inside of us is our solar plexus, and it represents the soul. And then also the Father. The Father is the part of you that's ascended further than you are in your present life, or in the life that you are aware of that you're living. And then the Holy Ghost, or the Holy Spirit, is the breath. And the breath represents life in this present life. Like, it represents the things that we give energy to, the things that we see in the world. I want to go further into that, but I think I'm gonna wait till another video to actually go into it. But I want to say that we represent the Trinity as well. And what gave me the revelation of this was a class that I was taking, and in this breathwork class, we deal with like the sound of the drum, and we connect it to like our heartbeat, and which is kind of natural, because the drum can make the sound of the heartbeat, but we connect it to our heartbeat, and we also connect it with the breath, and we breathe. I think it's either to the rhythm of, no, it's a specific rhythm, but it's not necessarily the rhythm of the heart, even though we are essentially imitating the drum with our breath. And we make the connection of the breath and the heart, and we put and we kind of are putting the energy of that we're taking into the heart, which is positive, and it's like cleansing, and it's like releasing things, like it's releasing things that are blocked. and it's allowing like old energy to move from things that are stuck inside of you. And since we're doing it that intentionally, it's helping like a lot of things be released from you, and it's helping your heart like remove like certain blockages, and it helps you open your heart chakra. So it's a very interesting class, and if anybody wants to like take the class, just like send me like a DM, email, or something. Just let me know, and I'll show you how to sign up for the class, and we could and you can experience it for yourself. But yeah, I had a lot to say. I don't know if this video will even like make sense, because I feel like I've been all over the place. But I know that what is meant to be heard was meant to be heard in this video. And then if I need to like expound on something and to kind of like expand my explanation on it, I will. And like and I feel like I'll be inspired to, if that's necessary. But I feel like I feel like I will expound on certain things, and a lot of these things are very important, and a lot of these things are things that we don't acknowledge, and things that we don't necessarily know of, and things that we're not taught. So like, as I learn, I feel like it's my duty and my honor to help others learn, and to like bring light to them, and hopefully it becomes like a reciprocal thing, where I bring light to you and you bring light to me, and we just vibe out. So I'm standing in front of one of my favorite trees. It's like a ginkgo tree. They have like really pretty leaves. I just love ginkgo trees. But what I want to say is something more about Cancer energy. Like, Cancer is very connected to the womb. It's connected to women's cycle. So in this time, like, it's very important for us to detox. And we also have a blood moon coming up, so it'll be very important to detox and release a lot of the stuff that you're holding on to. Like, do it through like whatever method suits you, or it feels good to you, or feels right for you. But what I want to do, and what I want to like make a goal of doing, is to do like a detox bath. And I want to also drink more water, because I haven't been drinking much water. But I want to connect to that moon energy. And to connect to the moon energy, what I want to do is, well, I want to connect to the Cancer energy, but to connect to the Cancer energy, I want to connect to the moon energy, which is very connected to water. So and the waters of the earth. So I want to make sure I drink a lot of water, and I want to make sure that I take a detoxing bath as one of my goals for this month. And that's how I want to connect to this the Cancer energy, and to release and let go of things that are like, I guess, like on a surface level. But the things that I want to use, which, and I'll make a video about it, but the things I want to use, they will like penetrate my the surface level of my skin, and they have properties that will be incorporated in my body and in my mind, and it'll help with like my emotions and things like that. But I'm gonna research the particular things that I'm gonna use. There's things that I have in mind, but I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna use just yet. So I'm gonna research that, and then I'm gonna make a video about it. But I just wanted to share that before I ended this before I ended this vlog. So I think this will be the end of this one. If it's not, then I'll then you'll know, because there'll be more video. But this was probably going to be the end of this vlog, because yeah, it's pretty decent length already. So I'm gonna probably gonna end this vlog here. But with that being said, I love you, and I hope that you have a great day.